Alright, so this is later in the same day as I cooked the ratatouille. It's still here, and it cooked out for about another maybe 10 minutes. Didn't take long at all. And what I'm going to do is I went out today and I bought some puff pastry. Bought this Just Roll puff pastry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the ratatouille into the puff pastry and bake it. So I'm not going to show you the whole thing. And what I'm going to try and do, we'll see how this works. I'm going to try and set the camera up with a time-lapse thing and record it in the oven. I've never done it before, it might be a disaster, but we'll see, we'll give it a try. But first of all, we'll get it into the oven. So what I want to do is, I'm going to roll some of this puff pastry. Puff pastry is pretty thin anyway, but we're going to make it be a wee bit thinner. Give that a wee clean. It's just plain flour in a wee shaker. See, I haven't had this for a long time, and I probably wouldn't have thought to do it had I not been talking earlier about it on this video, on the previous video. I would probably have done. I'd probably have just done this with pasta. What's happening here? It's ultra strong plastic for some reason. Try not to destroy it in case I need to put some of it back in. This is, I think this is pretty good stuff actually. I think it was £2.19, I think, all butter it said, so it's quite yellow, that's good. Let's see, what size is this? I went out today and I bought a sandwich. I bought a BLT, and as I'm sitting eating it, I thought, yeah, that's an idea for the next video, is a BLT. It was an off-the-shelf one. Cold bacon and soggy bread, you know, it's not very good. So it made me think, right, next time I have bacon in, I'll cook you a BLT. I'll show you how to cook a BLT. A couple of places I worked in Scotland, we used to do BLTs, really good. So that'll be a future video. This is going to be fairly big actually, but I am quite hungry, so it's okay. I was looking for just to see how long that lasts. I cannot see the sell-by date on it. Ah, there we go. It's the 13th of April, 2nd of May. So this is going to last for ages, and even though I've opened it, it should last for a while. So, oops. So it's a wee bit thick still. It's one skill. I think my kitchen skills are pretty good overall. One thing I'm not very good at is rolling things out and keeping them kind of geometric. So this is to think about this a wee bit. Like if I do my pizzas and I do a wee blob of dough, when I roll it out, it's never a circle, it's always a flipping bizarre shape. And this is not going to remain a rectangle. It's thin, but we can go a wee bit thinner. Really make an effort to try and keep this rectangular. But I bet you it'll kind of turn into like a bow shape. These will go out and corners will go out. See, already we've lost the rectangular shape. Just don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's this rolling pin. See, do you know what I mean? It's like, why is that going in? A wee bit annoying. But anyway, see, look, it's all going to pot. This is going to be quite big, but it's okay. Just roll it out a wee bit bigger. Say you're not supposed to roll this left or right, you're only supposed to do it straight ahead, kind of back and forward. Yeah, that'll do it, I reckon. It was really sore. There's the tray. Turn the oven on, didn't I? So I've got the oven on to about, let's say, 170-ish. 180-ish. 170, 180-ish, 175. Let's split the difference. Because you don't want it too hot. A lot of places, there was a restaurant where you can sit in, but a takeaway kind of place called Square Pie, and they did very nice pies. I remember seeing them do their mashed potatoes, and they were actually boiling potatoes and mashing them with butter and milk and stuff. So proper mash. But they would always take the pies out of the oven too soon. Yes, because it's it's quicker and costs less money and stuff. But really nice tasting pies. But all of the pastry out on the top was always undercooked. That was always annoying. So it's kind of, this is the good thing about doing it yourself, is that you just leave this in the oven for as long as possible until it crisps right up. Just put a good dollop on it. It's going to be fairly big. I'll do it. So I'm going to try a time lapse of this in the oven. Never done that before, never tried that with this wee camera before. Don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I actually need a time lapse though, or if I actually want to record the whole thing and then speed it up. But the problem with doing that is it's going to create too many files that are too big. So I know that that's going to be a hassle. So I will first of all try the time lapse and see how it goes. Just going to crimp this around the edges like this. Pastry is very forgiving. Basically whatever you do once you bake this, it's going to look good. And this seems to be all butter, quite good quality pastry, so we should be, no matter what you do with this, it's going to look good. I don't bother with egg wash or anything like that. I'm going to pick this up, it's going to be fun. I can try is if it breaks, it doesn't actually matter. Just cut a few holes in the top just to cut right through there, just to let some of the steam out. I'm not going to bother egg washing it or anything. I never really bother with egg wash. To me, an egg is, I can make a whole dinner out of one egg. The loneliest of all dinners, the one egg omelette on rice. So I'm going to put this in the oven now at 170, 180 in the middle of the oven. And I'm not going to put it on just yet because I want to set the time-lapse up camera first of all. But either we will go to time-lapse now, or if that does a disaster, we'll go to the final cooked thing. I'm not going to record the whole thing in real time this time. So I will talk to you in a minute. Okay, so I don't actually know if the time-lapse worked at this point, because I've just turned it off, taken the pie out of the oven, and we shall have a look at what it looks like, because it looks pretty good, I think. We'll just chop it in half. We'll just do a quick video because the battery, I think, is about to run out. I should have put a new battery in, but I didn't. It's beeping at me. So there you go. nicely cooked puff pastry, nice and crispy all round. It was in for about 45 minutes. I'm going to chop that up a bit more, put it onto the plate, but that's basically it done. That's your ratatouille in pastry, and that's that. I'm going to eat that just now. I'm going to put some salt on it and eat it, and it'll be really good. And I'll chat to you next time. Okay, so I forgot to say that that pie was in the oven for 45 minutes. And I know that because that's how long the camera was recording for on the time-lapse. I'm sure I picked 60 seconds as the time-lapse setting, but for whatever reason it recorded the whole thing down into 1 second, so I don't quite understand what that is. I should have tested the time-lapse and figured that out first of all. But basically in the oven for 45 minutes at about 180, and then probably about 3/4 of the way through, just turn it down to about 160, 150ish, and just let it finish off to a good 45 minutes. And you want to cook it for that length of time, because that really crisps up the pastry all the way through, and as a result it was really, really delicious. So I shall talk to you next time.